Losing someone close to you is never easy. It becomes even more difficult when you're given responsibilities like liquidating someone's estate, including properties that they own. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information out there, and I run into people every day that have no clue where to start. Hi, my name is Derrick Jackson with the Jackson Realty Group. I'm going to go over the 7 things not to do when you're in this sort of a situation. Mistake number 1 is not getting the proper guidance. This is definitely not the situation to call one of your friends. It's really complicated. Unfortunately, unless you've been through it before, there's a gigantic learning curve. It's not like a traditional real estate transaction where someone is buying and selling a house. There's a long legal process that someone has to go through in order to make sure this transaction gets completed the right way the first time around. My first piece of advice is to start off with a competent attorney who understands this process and has some experience in it, and also a realtor who actually specializes in this sort of a transaction. Mistake number 2 is to actually learn the process yourself. It's in your best interest to learn the process yourself. Chances are, if you're the executor in the estate, part of the money that comes from the sale of the property will actually be shared amongst you and the other heirs that are in the estate. This means that you and the other heirs in the estate are going to want to be involved in understanding how this entire process works to make sure that you have the right team around you. Mistake number 3 is not hiring the right service providers. When liquidating a property in order to sell it, you're going to want to understand how to properly sell off all the items that are inside of the home to make sure you maximize the money out of it. There's actually an entire industry out there of service providers who help people like you to be able to liquidate any items that you don't want to keep and need to sell off or get rid of. Mistake number 4 is thinking that this is just a quick, simple process. Everybody's situation is unique, and who you choose to work with is very important, because having quality service providers around you will help either lengthen or shorten the time that it's going to take to get all of the things done that need to get done. Mistake number 5 is not securing the estate's personal property. Unfortunately, when someone passes, there's no one in charge of watching over the personal items in the estate, which leads me to this most important item. It's better to have the property properly insured versus not having insurance at all. I've seen it happen in the past where burglary has happened, flooding has happened, a number of different scenarios happen. In these situations, 100% of the time, it's better to be safe than sorry. A property that's not properly insured is absolutely a liability waiting to happen. Not having the proper insurance could cost you tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Is it really worth the risk? Mistake number 7 is trying to sell the property without a proper understanding of what the value of the property is. The chances of maximizing any money out of it are going to be greatest in the first 2 weeks that a house hits the market. That's typically the time that a house is going to see the most amount of attention and the most amount of showings and interest. Listing a house way too high above where current market values are is only going to increase your market time and, ultimately speaking, decrease the amount of money that you're going to net once the house actually gets an offer. So in conclusion, I want to extend to you my sincerest condolences, and I also hope this video has actually helped you in some way to better understand what to expect and what to look for. It's always easier to understand how to stay out of trouble by understanding what not to do. And if you have any additional questions, I am a certified probate real estate expert and a real estate broker with the Jackson Realty Group. I'm always here to answer questions free of charge. Give me a call anytime. I'm here to help.